Water. How necessary a pure and adequate supply is to our everyday happiness. Our industries, too, could not function without an abundance of water. A ready supply of water is necessary to protect our property from loss by fire. In order to keep pace with the rapidly growing communities surrounding Burrard Inlet and the Fraser River, a Metropolitan Water Board, known as the Greater Vancouver Water District, was formed in 1926. The Water District now serves 3 cities and 9 municipalities. Here we see the Administration Board of the Greater Vancouver Water District on an inspection tour of Seymour Falls. The Water District now delivers water to a population approaching 1/2 million in these areas. The Water District is fortunate in possessing 3 sources of supply in the mountains to the north of Burrard Inlet. These are the Capilano, Seymour, and Coquitlam rivers. From the catchment areas of these 3 rivers, water is collected in intakes and piped to the member municipalities. The Water District has acquired by purchase from private owners and by a 999-year lease from the provincial government all the lands in these catchment areas, thus preserving them for posterity. High in these mountains, the winter snows are held in nature's cold grasp. The warm spring sun gradually melts the snow. Countless small streams are formed, which, like Tennyson's brook, chatter, chatter as they flow to join the brimming river. Here we see a snow survey party. From the depth and density of the snow, the approximate spring and summer runoff for the succeeding season may be estimated. The world-famous lions watch over the Capilano intake. The volume of stream flow of the Capilano is being determined by means of a current meter. From the Capilano River, the water at the Capilano intake is diverted into settling tanks where sediment is removed by gravity. The water enters the supply pipe through screens, which remove leaves and other floating material from the water. Storage on the Capilano is rapidly becoming inadequate due to the greater demands of an ever-growing population. Plans have been completed for the construction in the near future of a dam in this canyon. The dam will be nearly 350 feet high and will create a large storage reservoir. This is an artist's conception of the proposed dam. The Capilano water has now reached Burrard Inlet and must be brought across the first narrows, a distance of more than 3,000 feet. From this shaft house, the water passes through a pressure tunnel at a depth of 400 feet below sea level. From here, our Capilano water goes into the distribution system and to Little Mountain Reservoir, situated in the center of the city of Vancouver. You are now looking at the Seymour Falls Dam. This dam forms a reservoir for which water is piped into the Seymour supply system through automatic screens. Since the termination of the war, the Water District has been very busy replacing the old 60-inch wooden main with a steel pipe. Each section of pipe is 90 inches in diameter, 30 feet long, and weighs 9 tons. It is coated both inside and outside with a coal tar enamel. An outside felt wrapping gives additional protection. Joints are electrically welded both outside and inside the pipe. After welding, all joints are tested for water tightness. The outside of the pipe is coated with whitewash to reduce the amount of expansion caused by the heat of the sun. The Seymour water is now at the second narrows of Burrard Inlet, and once again the harbor must be crossed. Unlike the water crossing at the first narrows, a pressure tunnel will not solve the problem because of geological conditions. Therefore, a trench has been excavated in the bottom of the inlet, and the pipe is laid in this trench. Wrought iron pipe is used in 66-foot sections. These sections are bolted together by submarine divers. The high-velocity tidal currents at the second narrows make this work extremely hazardous. Much of the pipe was laid at depths of 80 to 90 feet below high water. After crossing Burrard Inlet, Seymour water supplies several demands. Part of it goes to Vancouver Heights Reservoir, which is a covered reservoir. A novel feature of this reservoir is that its cover was prepared for tennis courts and bowling greens that serve as a community center. Part of Seymour water goes into general distribution and to Little Mountain Reservoir, and part of it goes through Burnaby to West Burnco Reservoir in New Westminster. The third source of supply is Coquitlam Lake. Coquitlam water supplies the city of New Westminster, the municipalities of Richmond, Coquitlam, Pitt Meadows, and Maple Ridge on the north shore of the Fraser River, and parts of Surrey and Delta on the south shore. To reach the municipalities of Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge, the easterly branch of the Coquitlam supply system crosses the Pitt River. This crossing is accomplished by means of twin submerged mains. These twin mains that cross the Pitt River bring a plentiful supply of water to the farmers of the district and make scenes like these a thing of the past. A portion of Coquitlam water supplies Queen's Park and West Burncoe reservoirs in the city of New Westminster. From these reservoirs, the city has its own distribution system. A pipeline carried on the Patullo Bridge across the Fraser River at New Westminster supplies parts of the municipalities of Surrey and Delta with Coquitlam water. A submerged main across the north arm of the Fraser River delivers water to the municipality of Richmond. Greater Vancouver Water District supplies water in bulk to the cities and municipalities within the district. The quantity of water delivered is measured by this device known as a Venturi meter. Each city and municipality is charged for water on the basis of the quantity taken, and in turn retails the water at its own schedule of rates to both domestic and industrial consumers. This shows the laying of a cast iron distribution main by one of the member cities. Forest fire is the greatest hazard to the catchment areas, and the Water District takes great precautions to preserve them from damage by this destructive agency. Fire not only destroys valuable timber, but in addition, it may destroy the forest bed, thereby accelerating both evaporation and the rate of runoff into the streams. A competent team of rangers is ever on the alert during the fire season to prevent the occurrence of fire, to discover any outbreaks, and to bring equipment and men quickly to the scene of a fire. In order that domestic water be suitable for human consumption, it must be free from contamination, either from human sources or from industrial wastes. The three catchment areas, totaling 225 square miles, are largely inaccessible due to the absence of any roads and the presence of but a few miles of forest trails. They are free from human habitation and from any form of industry. The district's workmen enter the catchment areas only as necessity arises, and the health of these men is carefully supervised by Dr. Stuart Murray, the board's medical officer. Rigid and scientific inspection of the supply is made to see that it reaches the consumer in the pure state provided by nature. Each day, samples of water for testing are drawn from the source of supply. These are taken to the Water District testing laboratory, and they're subjected to the exacting bacteriological tests required by public health authorities. the summertime, the runoff into the lakes and streams slows down. This, too, is a period of maximum demand by the water user, who is anxious to maintain the beauty of his flowers and lawns and the growth of his vegetable garden. During this period of low water, the streams are replenished by water drawn from the reservoirs created by the storage lakes high up in the mountains. These lakes have been tapped by tunnels through the rims surrounding them, and from these natural reservoirs, water is drawn as required to supply the intakes and mains. In this ingenious way, Palisade Lake, Burwell Lake, and Loch Lomond can supply supplementary water to the intakes for over 100 days in each year. These storage lakes are truly reservoirs in the sky. The communities situated around Burrard Peninsula are fortunate indeed in the unique heritage that nature has provided in the form of adequate resources of pure water that may be supplied to the consumer at low cost without the necessity of treatment that so frequently must be resorted to in other parts of the world. The policy of the Greater Vancouver Water District since its inception has been to keep this precious heritage forever free from human occupation or contamination, and to develop these resources step by step in logical sequence so that as the communities grow, they may always be blessed with an abundant supply of safe and healthful water.